Part 58. The strongest assassin in the server. Author, B.A. Wang Shi-san. Chapter 571. Go all out, our goal is to be the world champion, no one can stop us. Ye Chen's words awakened everyone. You have your position, I have my goal, I can't stop because I sympathize with your experience. After the registration ended, Ye Chen, Abyss Demon, and Jian Wuhan flew away as a team, heading to the Japanese theater. They need to brush merits and strive to be promoted to Marshal as quickly as possible, obtain the rank of Marshal and the full level of fighting spirit. As for the others, they stayed in Zhihaxia and continued to brush monsters and upgrade. Sun Yang knew how to enjoy it. He asked Ye Chen for the expanding somersault cloud and lay on it to absorb experience directly. Soon, Ye Chen and the other two entered the world ocean from Zhihaxia, and then headed towards the Japanese theater. After entering the Japanese branch sea, the three acted separately. Japan and Russia have already formed an alliance. Even in the Japanese branch sea, there will be Arthur's base, and they can be teleported at any time. And Ye Chen, Abyss Demon, and Jian Wuhan, even if they join forces, will not be the opponent of Arthur's ultimate mode. So the three of them acted separately. It didn't matter who died. They just wanted merit. Stealth. Ye Chen went into stealth mode directly, flew away from the Japanese sea, and prepared to invade the main city of the Japanese war zone. There were too few people in the sea, and the efficiency of obtaining merit was not fast, so entering the main city to slaughter was the best choice. I believe that the Abyss Demon and Jian Wuhan would make the same choice. The three of them attacked one city each. Soon the battle broke out. Ye Chen invaded the enemy's main city and slaughtered crazily. Even if Arthur came, he could retreat without any hesitation. Even though he is now powerful, he is definitely not the opponent of Arthur's ultimate mode, so there is no need to fight. Although Arthur in the ultimate mode has terrifying combat power, the range of the war domination array is only 1000 yards. Once out of this range, he cannot get the amplification power. So Ye Chen only needs to stay 1000 yards away from him to be absolutely safe. Without Arthur, for the majority of Japanese players, the invasion of Ye Chen and others is despair. The three of them slaughtered crazily in different main cities, gained merits, and made the majority of Japanese players scream. After 3 days, Ye Chen, Abyss Demon, and Jian Wuhan were promoted to marshals. In addition, they also destroyed and harassed the Japanese war zone to a great extent, making the majority of Japanese players hate them very much. Retreat. If you can't break the main city, it's meaningless even if you continue to fight. After arriving at the marshal, Ye Chen sent a message to the two, and then withdrew to the Chinese war zone together. At this time, the qualifying round of the International Championship has already started and is in full swing, but the three of them are not interested in it. They go out to sea again, advance, and open up the world ocean. The world ocean is mysterious and vast, as we all know. There are even gods living in it, which is the stage for the real strong in the major war zones. In fact, Ye Chen and others are slow in progress. Until now, they have just arrived at the Little Man Island, Giant Island, and Light Island. There are only 3 islands, and the strong in other war zones are probably far ahead of them. 3 hours later, they had bypassed the Little Man Island and the Giant Island and headed further into the world ocean. After an unknown amount of time, an island finally appeared in front of the 3 people. The island was very small and bare, with no grass growing. On that piece of land, there were some huge gray seagulls living. Ancient Seagull, World Elite. Level 85. HP, 5000000//50000000. Skills, Water Waves, Ice Bombs, Condensation, Flight, Noise. There are no ordinary monsters in the world ocean, at least they are all world elites. And this little seagull actually has 5 million HP. This is enough to prove the danger of the world ocean. If you are not a Saint Domain strongman, you will die several times when you come here. In the previous life, Yechen played Dream World for 2 years and reached level 99, but after experiencing a nightmare, he never dared to set foot in the world ocean again. But in this life, the situation is completely opposite. Today, Yechen is already a powerful man who is feared by all. Although he was only an ordinary sanctuary in Realm, even with ordinary attacks, one strike could deal 500 million damage. The ancient seagull only had 5 million HP, which was not enough to fight. Let's go. Yechen smiled at Bald Island, shouted, and then accelerated to Bald Island. With one hand, he swung out, and the sharp Kylan dagger killed an ancient seagull, which frightened a group of ancient seagulls and flew away frantically. Yechen was too lazy to chase them. In his opinion, these seagulls were too weak, and they didn't think they would explode anything good. In the blink of an eye, the Abyss Demon and Jian Wuhan also came to Yechen. The three of them acted separately, looking for hidden places and planting detection devices. The three of them were marshals a long time ago, and they had accumulated a lot of detection devices and teleportation devices. And they planted the detection devices now, not for detection, but for the convenience of teleportation when they encountered danger. After planting the detection device, Jian Wuhan took out the spring water and drank it. You know, although the Saint Domain strongmen can fly in the air, they will also consume some MP. Yechen's equipment is amazing, and he has the power of blood tree amplification, so he has too much MP to use up. More importantly, the assassin's skills consume very little MP. But Jian Wuhan is not as good as him. Now that he has been flying for so long, it is time to replenish his supplies. So, Yechen opened the world map and explored it by himself, while the Abyss Demon looked around boredly, waiting for Jian Wuhan to recover. But at this moment, Bald Island suddenly shook, which startled the three people. Next, Bald Island rose, causing the water level to drop. In just a moment, Bald Island supported them more than 10 yards high, which surprised the three people. The rise of Bald Island caused the surrounding sea water to surge, showing the magnitude of Bald Island's movement. In addition, 100 yards away, the still calm sea water suddenly plopped a series of huge bubbles. Then, a giant object broke out of the water, stirring up waves. Yechen and the other two looked over and found that it was the head of a sea beast. What sea beast? Turtle. It looks like a turtle's head, but it's tens of thousands of times bigger than an ordinary turtle. What island? This is a giant ghost. We are just standing on its shell. Jian Wuhan's mouth twitched. This giant turtle, with only part of its shell exposed above the sea, looks like an island. You can imagine how huge the sky is. The three people felt ridiculous and took off in a hurry. Ancient Giant Turtle, World Holy Beast. Level 90. HP, 15,000,000,000,000//15,000,000,000,000,000. Skills. The strongest assassin in the server. Author, B.A. Wang Shi-san. Chapter 572. Ah! The ancient giant turtle howled, and the rolling sound waves exploded the air. The sea water below was like being bombed by a bomb, stirring up thousands of waves. Yechen and the other two covered their ears in pain, their faces trembling, and blood was lost crazily. I met the world's sacred beast so soon, 15 trillion HP, it's simply a monster, unbelievable. I hope readers will remember our domain name Taiwan Novel Network rightward arrow. Yechen's mouth twitched for a second, and he roared decisively, letting Jian Wuhan release the withering of all things. Jian Wuhan roared, and the long sword swept towards the ancient giant turtle below, killing a circle of withered yellow light waves. The law of time seemed to bring the ancient giant turtle into the next reincarnation, making it old and frail. A huge turtle face, covered with wrinkles like dead skin, and a huge turtle shell with pits and holes everywhere. Within 3 seconds, all its attributes will drop by 90. Take advantage of now. Ye Chen roared, and the three of them attacked at the same time, attacking the head of the ancient giant turtle crazily. All three of them were strong men, experienced in many battles, and naturally knew that the turtle shell was hard, so they chose to attack the head of the ancient giant turtle. After the latter was weakened, its HP was still 150 billion, and its overall defense was also reduced by 10 times. The turtle head, which had low defense, was even more vulnerable. The three people attacked crazily, almost causing real damage. Sea of Fire. Ye Chen shot out a sea of fire, burning the turtle head, and the special effect of the burning heart ring was activated, instantly putting the ancient giant turtle into a burn state, losing blood crazily. At the same time, Ye Chen also accumulated enough leveling points, and threw out the shock star, the ultimate kill, the heart piercing, and the double blades crazily. -2100, 066, 0789. -3601, 042, 0041. -4998, 301, 4881. -3200, 042, 0108. One after another, the trembling damage appeared. In these 3 seconds, Ye Chen's output damage exceeded 120 billion. Jian Wuhan dealt less than 500 million damage in 3 seconds. This is enough to prove that the gap between him and Ye Chen is like a chasm. As for the Abyss Demon, it was even more ferocious, dealing more than 300 billion damage in 3 seconds. The terrifying world's sacred beast, the ancient giant turtle, was ruthlessly killed by Ye Chen and his 3 companions in these 3 seconds. After a miserable howl, the corpse of the ancient giant turtle sank to the bottom of the sea powerlessly, and on the sea surface, countless equipment, coins, and materials floated, spreading over 100 yards. Although the first kill of the world's sacred beast did not trigger a world broadcast, the reward was extremely generous. Among those spoils, there were no less than 5 golden holy artifacts. Jian Wuhan secretly wiped a cold sweat. Although he killed the ancient giant turtle quickly, he was not happy at all. It's okay to be Abyss Demon, Ye Chen, seeing your damage, I suddenly have the urge to delete my account. Jian Wuhan looked at Ye Chen and the Abyss Demon, with a bitter smile on his face. Don't say that. Without your artifact, we can't kill this ancient giant turtle so easily. Maybe we will die. Ye Chen smiled slightly. That's what I said, but I want more combat power. Jian Wuhan's mouth twitched. No way, your foundation is too low. Now you have full fighting spirit and full crit, but you only have this little damage. I'm afraid it will be difficult to improve it. Ye Chen shook his head. Well, don't think about it, just play auxiliary with peace of mind. The Abyss Demon grinned and couldn't help laughing at Jian Wuhan. Jian Wuhan's mouth twitched, but he was helpless. His equipment is not bad, with a set of level 80 holy weapons. Although his weapon, the withered greatsword, is only level 60, the foundation of a level 60 artifact is definitely not bad. In addition, he is also a high-level preacher of the upper god, with full-level fighting spirit and full crit. But even so, his maximum damage is only 100-200 million. Compared with ordinary people, he is naturally a killer, but compared with Ye Chen, he is simply a scum. Forget it, just play as a support. If I don't have this withered greatsword, I'm afraid I don't even have the qualifications to stand with this guy. Jian Wuhan looked at Ye Chen and sighed secretly. Ye Chen is too evil, and there is also a thief god. Although he is only level 30 now, he will be an evil sooner or later in the future. Jian Wuhan knew that he could not compare with the two of them, so he stopped comparing. People's positioning must be accurate. In the eyes of ordinary players, he is a king and a great god, but in the eyes of the title king, he is vulnerable. Fortunately, with the withered greatsword, he has some qualifications to speak, which is already good. A few minutes later, Yechen and Jian Wilhan divided the rich spoils and continued to move forward. As the ancient giant turtle died, its body sank to the bottom of the sea, and the detection device on its shell lost its effect. Because of this, Yechen and his 3 companions were in a hurry to find the next place to stay. After an unknown period of time, Yechen and his 3 companions finally found the next island, which was lush with vegetation and was obviously a real island. The 3 of them smiled at each other and landed on the island one after another. However, they did not know that their every move was seen by G. G had already led his team to the world ocean, and the island where Yechen and his 3 companions arrived had already been equipped with detection devices. G, Overlord, and his companions have landed on the Soul Assassin Island. A subordinate immediately reminded G and asked about the next move. Don't worry about them. You have already experienced how powerful the Soul Assassin is. We were besieged by 50 people and fought for 3 days and 3 nights, but we couldn't capture them. These few people were able to get back in a matter of minutes. G sneered and said nonchalantly. On the other side, Yechen landed on the island and felt that the forest on the island was quite gloomy. Because the vegetation on the island is too lush, the sunlight cannot fully shine in, so the view inside the island is dim. The sound of whirring wind came, making Yechen startled. This island is so quiet. You can even hear the breeze clearly. This island may be unusual. Let's set up the detection equipment first, Yechen said, and the 3 of them acted separately and began to find hidden places to set up detection equipment. Instrument. After inserting the reconnaissance device, the 3 of them could see a 1,000-yard radius of the island. However, everyone changed the cameras several times, but they could not see even a single monster. Split up and explore the island. If we find nothing, we will move on, Yechen said again. After finishing speaking, the 3 of them divided into 3 directions and galloped out. Now that the detection device has been installed, even if it hangs up, you can use the teleporter to teleport back at any time. So from now on, Yechen and Jian Wilhan couldn't help but feel a lot more relaxed. As for the Abyss Demon, he is a super saint himself, and ordinary people can't do anything to him, so he has always been very relaxed. Yechen direction. Wearing it, Yechen walked quickly while observing the illusion around him. There were no monsters visible within 1,000 yards, and Yechen had to suspect that the monsters on this island had the means of invisibility. Please remember the first domain name of this book. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The strongest assassin in the server. Author, B.A. Wang Shi-san. Chapter 573. Is it an empty island? Yechen galloped all the way and quickly visited 1/3 of the island where he was responsible, but he didn't even find the shadow of the monster. On the other side, Jian Wilhan was in charge of the position. Jian Wilhan moved forward at full speed and explored quickly. Suddenly, behind him, a huge undercurrent appeared. On this island, because the vegetation is too lush, it is difficult for sunlight to shine in, and the view is dim. Therefore, this undercurrent is almost completely integrated into the air and is not noticed by outsiders. Gradually, when the undercurrent enveloped Jian Wilhan, the latter remained unaware of it. On top of this undercurrent, dark water splashes up from time to time, as if someone is walking on it, causing splashes. Puff. Suddenly, a thin, translucent figure appeared out of thin air behind Jian Wilhan. Judging from the figure, it was a thief or an assassin. The man chuckled sinisterly and thrust the dagger into the back of Jian Wilhan's heart, causing over 10 billions of horrific damage and killing Jian Wilhan instantly. System, your teammate Jian Wilhan died. Seeing the system message, Yechen was startled and quickly asked Jian Wilhan what happened. I don't know either. I didn't even see the shadow of the monster, and I was stabbed in the back of the heart for no reason. The only thing that is certain is that the other party is a thief or an assassin. The damage exceeded tens of billions. He must be a super saint. After Jian Wuhan was resurrected, he shouted angrily in the team channel. Is it forced to hide? Ye Chen frowned. The current environment was dim, and thieves or assassins would be at ease. Ye Chen is also an assassin, but he doesn't know where the enemy is. Now it can be said that the enemy is in the dark and I am in the light. This situation is indeed more dangerous. Cut down the tree and let the sun shine in first. The strong concealment only has a 10-second cooling time. He won't need it a few times, Ye Chen said calmly in the team channel. All sent emails to the Abyss Demon and Jian Wuhan, and mailed 2 Goblin Miracles, detection glasses. Now he is cooperating with Dr. Goblin, Byron. Things like detective glasses can be obtained as much as he wants. It doesn't matter if they are given to Abyss Demon and Jian Wuhan. If you have reconnaissance glasses, normal sneaking will be ineffective unless you use forced concealment. In less than a minute, Abyss Demon and Jian Wuhan received the email and took out their detective glasses and put them on. At the same time, Jian Wuhan also used the teleporter to teleport over. Then, the 3 of them started to chop down the trees like crazy. It was too easy for the strong men from the Holy Domain to chop down the trees. They chopped down a large area at a time. The sun soon shone in, and poisonous mist suddenly appeared in the forest where the 3 of them were. The island is lush with vegetation, and since it has been out of the sun for a long time, many shady plants grow, among which poisonous mushrooms are the most common. This plant is most resistant to sunlight. Once it is exposed to sunlight, it will explode and die, thereby emitting poisonous mist. Countless poisonous mushrooms exploded, making the poisonous fog thicker. Ye Chen, Abyss Demon, and Jian Wuhan's HP plummeted. Cut from the outside to let the poisonous mist disperse, otherwise the poisonous mist will accumulate and form a more terrifying poisonous miasma. Ye Chen was in the poisonous mist and couldn't stop coughing. He quickly flew out of the poisonous mist and reminded on the team channel, pay attention to the detection devices and place a few more for each person. Detection instruments are extremely fragile and will die if touched. Even if it is covered by poisonous mist, it will be ineffective instantly. Because of this, Ye Chen will remind them to install more detection devices. Anyway, marshals can receive 10 detection devices every day. To them, the detection devices are not valuable at all. Just when the 3 of them were frantically cutting down the trees to let in the sunlight, they detonated the poisonous mushrooms and produced a thick poisonous mist. On the other side, Ing and others were suddenly startled. What's going on? Why did the detection device installed on the Soul Assassin Island fail at the same time? The fighting was too fierce, it must have been affected. Forget it, we can't kill the Soul Assassin. That island is of no use to us. Of course, Overlord and the others are definitely no match for the Soul Assassin. Facing the panicked subordinates, Ing just smiled coldly. Within the island, tree felling continues. The translucent Soul Assassin locked onto Ye Chen this time. The undercurrent was lurking, but this time the light was bright, and Ye Chen could clearly see the undercurrent. I saw the undercurrent covering a 30-yard area. On top of the undercurrent, dark water splashed from time to time, as if someone was walking on it, causing splashes. It finally appeared. This is the shadow assassination technique. Ye Chen stared at the undercurrent, and suddenly felt a familiar feeling, and there was a thump in his heart, as he recognized this skill. Shadow assassination. Ye Chen does not have this skill, but Ye Chen, who was simulated 10 years later using Time Storm, does have it. Shadow assassination is one of the assassin's exclusive skills, which causes an undercurrent to appear in the surroundings. Within the range of the undercurrent, one is in a state similar to strong concealment. It cannot be seen through except through perception. In addition, the caster can teleport freely within the range of the undercurrent. This skill is extremely terrifying. The range of the undercurrent depends on the skill level of shadow assassination. The shadow assassination technique at full level has an undercurrent range of 100 yards, which is like an underground river. And this guy's shadow assassination technique is obviously only about level 10, with a range of only 30 yards. Ye Chen concentrated his mind to distinguish, although there was some mockery in his expression, his face was still solemn. Obviously, even the LV-10 shadow assassination technique was very powerful. The opponent was a super saint, so Ye Chen decisively threw out a mute scroll to prohibit the opponent's shadow assassination technique. The next moment, the undercurrent disappeared, and a thin translucent figure was exposed to the sun. Soul Assassin, Yak. Level 90. Profession, Assassin. HP, 30,000,000,000/30,000,000,000,000,000. Skills. Boy, do you know shadow assassination technique? Soul Assassin stared at Ye Chen, a trace of surprise flashed across his face. A few days ago, his team played against him. The opponent had a holy word mage, and after reading it many times, he finally found the skill of shadow assassination technique. But Ye Chen was an assassin, and he did not read it, and directly threw out the mute scroll, sealing his shadow assassination technique, which shocked him. What player? I am also an assassin, Ye Chen sneered as a reply. Hearing this, the soul assassin narrowed his eyes and looked at Ye Chen seriously. Ye Chen took a few steps back and directly summoned the team in mid-air, forcibly pulling Jian Wuhan and the Abyss Demon over. All things wither. As soon as Jian Wuhan appeared, he drew his sword and swept it, stirring up a circle of withered yellow light waves, hitting the soul assassin. However, the latter did not change at all. He was already in the soul state, without a body, so what use was the law of time to him? The strongest assassin in the server. Author, B.A. Wang Shi-san. Chapter 574. Withering of all things is ineffective, this is a bit tough, Jian Wuhan said solemnly. Ye Chen nodded in agreement, and the Abyss Demon smiled, leave it to me then. After speaking, the Abyss Demon pulled out a series of after images, activated the demon sprint and rushed towards the soul assassin. Both sides are super saints. The Abyss Demon is level 99, and because of its weak equipment, its HP is only 250 billion. The soul assassin is level 90, with HP 300 billion. But the difference is not much. After all, the Abyss Demon has the rank of martial and full-level fighting spirit, so its damage is still worthy of recognition. Killing spirit. The soul assassin roared, and a circle of substantial red airflow was stirred up on the surface of his body, spreading 100 yards, forming a killing field, covering the Abyss Demon, Ye Chen, and Jian Wuhan. Full-level LV-30 killing spirit, all attributes weakened by 30%, Ye Chen's eyes condensed. At this moment, the speed of the Abyss Demon's forward charge dropped by 30% in an instant. Although it was still blindingly fast, the soul assassin caught the flaw. The soul assassin suddenly turned around to avoid the demon's rush. The demon's rush skill can only penetrate back and forth after hitting the target. Now that the Abyss Demon did not hit the soul assassin, the demon's rush fell into a cooling state. The cooling time of the demon's rush is very short, only half a second. However, in this half second, the soul assassin went around behind the Abyss Demon and knocked the Abyss Demon unconscious with a stick. Stun. -150,053,4013. The soul assassin's movements were very coherent. After stunning the Abyss Demon, he casually slashed with a knife, dealing 500 million damage and accumulating combo points at the same time. Backstab through the heart. -1800592944041. Then, the soul assassin used a dagger to stab the back of the Abyss Demon. The red light penetrated the body of the Abyss Demon and extended forward for hundreds of yards, dealing 180 billion terrifying damage. Full-level Killing Spirit reduces defense, and ordinary attacks plant full-level killing marks, further increasing damage, and then full-level Piercing, unexpectedly dealing such terrible damage. Seeing this, Ye Chen took a breath of cold air. Fortunately, the Abyss Demon has full-level Fighting Spirit, which increases defense by 8 times. Otherwise, it might be killed by the Soul Assassin in one blow. On the side, Jian Wuhan's face was covered with cold sweat, and he smiled bitterly and shook his head. Soul Assassin, even Ye Chen felt terrible, so he could only look up. In this level of battle, they can't intervene at all, and they may be killed by the aftermath of the battle. Flame Armor. Armament Hardening. Tyrant Dragon Pattern. Fighting Spirit. Blood Blade. While shocked, Ye Chen also opened BFF and knocked off a bottle of Magic Conduction Potion, turning himself into a magic attack. You know, the Soul Assassin only has one soul left, and it is obviously immune to physical attacks. If he doesn't use the Magic Conduction Potion, he can't hit the Soul Assassin at all. Sea of Fire. Ye Chen rushed out with a big step, and at the same time, he shot out a sea of fire, forming a wall of fire, wrapping the Soul Assassin in it. The Soul Assassin was directly damaged by millions of fire damage, and because of the special effect of the Burning Heart Ring, it was put into a burn state. So, the Soul Assassin suffered millions of burns again. In 1 second, the Soul Assassin lost 10 million blood, but his HP was 300 billion, and he didn't care about the mere 10 million points of damage. But at this time, he looked at Ye Chen with admiration. The assassin knows the Sea of Fire, which is really a magical method, and there is also a very high chance of burning. In this way, even if there is only one enemy, you can accumulate combo points in an instant. Wonderful, wonderful, the Soul Assassin praised sincerely. As an assassin, he certainly knows the importance of combo points. When an assassin uses normal attacks to deal damage, he can accumulate 1 combo point. When using skills, he can get 2-5 combo points depending on the damage. After accumulating 7 combo points, he can release the final blow. For assassins, the Sea of Fire is simply a magical skill. The damage doesn't matter. Why does the assassin need the Sea of Fire to deal damage? The main thing is the range of the Sea of Fire and its duration. Throw the Sea of Fire into the crowd, and countless damage will be caused in an instant, and the combo points will be full. But if there is only one enemy, the effect of the Sea of Fire is average, because even if the range of the Sea of Fire is large, it can only burn one person and accumulate 2-5 combo points. It is also accumulating 2-5 combo points. Why don't assassins use more powerful skills? But Ye Chen is different. Now he has a magic weapon, the Burning Heart Ring. Flame Attack, 90% chance to burn the target, coupled with Ye Chen's super high firepower increase, makes this probability continue to soar, infinitely close to 100%. In this way, the Sea of Fire deals 1 damage per second, causing the enemy to enter the burn state, and then deals another burn in the same second. Dealing damage twice in 1 second is enough for Ye Chen to accumulate combo points. In addition, the Sea of Fire and the burn state are both continuous, which means that Ye Chen does not need to deliberately accumulate combo points next time, because they are always full, and it is enough to just use the finishing move. For an assassin, this is simply a dreamlike chain. The ultimate secret. Because of this, even a powerful soul assassin admires Ye Chen. Lore. Seeing that the HP of the Abyss Demon was about to return to 0, Ye Chen's eyes flashed with anxiety, and he rushed out like lightning, and the sharp blood blade cut the throat of the soul assassin. -3104, 920, 8750. 30 billion damage appeared, causing the soul assassin's HP to plummet by 1/10. Zayashian.com. Hey, it's a bit interesting, but the damage is still too low. The Soul Assassin's head was directly chopped off by the ultimate move, but he was in the soul state and immediately connected it, showing a half-smile expression to Ye Chen. Damn. 30 billion damage is still low. In the distance, Jian Wuhan's mouth twitched and he complained angrily. If 30 billion damage is very low, then what is his limit damage of 100 to 200 million? However, the Soul Assassin ignored him, and his body suddenly spun rapidly, spinning stab. Spinning stabs and boomerangs are the assassin's specialties, because these two skills can deal damage twice, thus accumulating combo points. Minus 120,450. Minus 154,920. The Soul Assassin spun, strangled the fighting spirit, strangled Ye Chen closely, and then stabbed into Ye Chen's heart. Blood spurted out like a fountain, and 2 consecutive damages also emerged, cutting Ye Chen's health by 270,000. Fortunately, Ye Chen's HP now exceeds 310,000, and even with such a heavy blow, he still stood firm. Good defense, but unfortunately the vitality is too weak, a sure kill. The Soul Assassin smiled contemptuously, and after a spinning stab, he directly connected with a sure kill, cutting Ye Chen's throat with a knife. The strongest assassin in the server. Author, B.A. Wang Shi-san. Chapter 575. Minus 100420485. Huge damage appeared, and a hideous huge damage appeared in Ye Chen's throat, but not a drop of blood flowed out. Then Ye Chen's body exploded, and yellow sand splashed everywhere. This was obviously the clone of sand. At the same time, Ye Chen's body teleported to the back of the Soul Assassin. Killing aura. Ye Chen's eyes widened, and a substantial red airflow radiated from his body. He and Xiao He simultaneously exerted killing aura, weakening the Soul Assassin's all attributes by 30%. After the previous decisive kill, Ye Chen and Xiao He planted killing marks for the Soul Assassin to further increase the damage. My damage is very low. What a joke. Ye Chen roared, and with both hands, he stabbed the sharp blood blade into the back of the Soul Assassin's heart. The red flash shot through the Soul Assassin's body and extended forward for hundreds of yards. Backstab through the heart. Minus 190047290912. Bright red critical damage appeared, 190 billion, this damage once again broke Ye Chen's limit. Of course, this used the combination of murderous aura and killing mark, which was extremely terrifying. The Soul Assassin's HP plummeted, leaving only the last 80 billion, and his expression became solemn. Yoshi, I admit that your damage is not low at all. The Soul Assassin laughed loudly, his fighting spirit was high, and he waved his dagger and attacked Ye Chen frantically. However, Ye Chen's defense was amazing, and the Blood Blade's blood recovery effect made his HP often full. The Soul Assassin could not kill Ye Chen in 1 second no matter what using general skills. Destruction Storm. The Soul Assassin once again released the finishing move, turned into a battle gyroscope, and strangled Ye Chen frantically. Can't kill him in 1 second? It doesn't matter, as long as Ye Chen is stiff and doesn't let him suck blood, he will be killed sooner or later. However, although he had this idea, the reality was extremely cruel. The extremely high absorption capacity of the Destruction Storm could not break Ye Chen's stiffness. That is to say, Ye Chen was still able to move freely and recover blood by cutting people in the enemy's Destruction Storm. In this way, the damage dealt by the Soul Assassin was instantly recovered by Ye Chen. Don't think too much. If you can't kill me instantly, you will definitely not be able to kill me. Ye Chen sneered and continued to attack, causing the Soul Assassin to lose blood, from 80 billion remaining blood to 60 billion, 30 billion. On the side, the Abyss Demon was also staring at the Soul Assassin. Now his HP is less than 1/3, and it can be said that it is quite dangerous to face the Soul Assassin. But now the Soul Assassin's HP is not much, and he can't withstand his attack at all. After seeing the opportunity, the Abyss Demon roared and rushed out decisively. "I've been underestimated, you rubbish." The Soul Assassin exited the gyroscope state, and the shadow of the poisonous dragon flashed behind him. He rushed towards the Abyss Demon without dodging or avoiding. The demon is running fast. Poison Dragon Stab. -1014, 902, 4591. -150140492991. The Abyss Demon only dealt 10 billion damage. You know, Demon Sprint is a multi-stage attack skill. However, after the Abyss Demon rushed for the first time, he was hit by the Soul Assassin, dealing 150 billion damage, instantly killing him. At the same time, the poison dragon spread and quickly covered the area. Yechen and Jian Wuhan were unable to dodge and were directly killed by the poison gas. You know, facing poison gas, defense is ineffective unless it is poison resistance. And Yechen has almost no poison resistance. With only 300,000 HP, he was instantly killed by the poison gas released by the Super Saint. 1 second later, the poison gas dissipated, and Yechen was resurrected with only 20% HP. You actually have a resurrection skill. You kid, you are really a freak. The Soul Assassin stared at Yechen and rushed away again. This time, even if the Soul Assassin only used ordinary attacks, Yechen did not dare to resist. Because after resurrection, all BFFs disappeared, and without flame armor, hardened weapons, fighting spirit, and other BFFs, he was vulnerable. Yechen began to dodge skills and run away, but Xiao He didn't care at all, and continued to attack the Soul Assassin. In 3 or 2 strokes, he knocked down more than 20 billion HP of the Soul Assassin again. Damn it, this is impossible. That kid was beaten by me and ran away everywhere, why can he still hurt me? The Soul Assassin's HP dropped again and again, and now it is less than 10 billion, and he was shocked and angry. Meteor Thorn. Under the threat of life, the Soul Assassin no longer cared about holding back and directly used the strongest killing move. The Soul Assassin turned into a red light and flew forward rapidly. Almost in an instant, he hit Yechen through. -150042894901. As the horrible damage emerged, Yechen's body exploded again, and yellow sand splashed everywhere. After resurrection, all CDs were cooled down. Yechen used the sand clone again to avoid the Soul Assassin's fatal blow. His original body was teleported to 30 yards away again, which was the maximum distance of the sand clone's teleportation. If I use the time storm, I can kill this guy instantly. With only 20% HP and no BFF on his body, Yechen also felt the danger, his eyes trembled, and he fell into a strong struggle. In less than a breath, Yechen forced the idea of using the time storm to suppress it. There was no way. Although the time storm was powerful, it only lasted for 10 minutes and the cooling time was 10 days. This was a flash in the pan. Yechen didn't want to use it if he didn't need it. Because once used, he had to wait 10 days for the next time. What's more, the Soul Assassin is also extremely weak now, with less than 10 billion HP left, and cannot stop any of Xiao Hei's finishing moves. Hands of Hell. Just when the Soul Assassin rushed in again, a black hole suddenly appeared behind Yechen, and then a ferocious demonic arm stretched out and pinched the Soul Assassin. You must know that the Hand of Hell contains a trace of space law. It seems to be slow but not slow, traveling through space, making it difficult for the enemy to react. What skill is this? The Soul Assassin was pinched tightly by the Hands of Hell, unable to move, and fell into fear for the first time. Die. Yechen just smiled contemptuously, and Xiao He responded, killing the Soul Assassin instantly with one strike of both blades. Finally one. Yechen landed on the ground and couldn't help but smile when he looked at the Soul Assassin's body and the massive trophies. After a close battle, he was sweating all over, but he was also very happy. Next, Yuchen began to clean up the trophies. Suddenly, with a glance, he locked on a scroll. Shadow Assassination, rare skill / exclusive to assassins. Summon an undercurrent within 60 seconds to make oneself invisible. In addition, the user can teleport freely within the range of the undercurrent. Cooling time, 180 seconds. Note, this skill can be upgraded, and the size of the undercurrent changes with the skill level. Please remember the first domain name of this book. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The Strongest Assassin in the Server. Author, Ba Wang Shi-san. Chapter 576. Shadow Assassination. After Ye Chen learned the skill, he immediately used it. Suddenly, an undercurrent within a 3-yard range appeared around him. The next moment, Ye Chen's figure disappeared into the darkness. With another powerful skill, if you upgrade it a few more levels, even Arthur will not be my opponent. Ye Chen showed a confident smile. Using the shadow assassination technique, you can teleport freely in the undercurrent. This is really abnormal. If the range of the undercurrent is large enough, who can hurt him? Of course, certain large area skills, such as Sea of Fire and Ice Array, can hit him. Taiwan Novel Network. Rightward arrow. However, this kind of large-scale skill generally does not cause high damage. Ye Chen's defense is strong enough, and group attack skills are basically ineffective against him. What's more, undercurrents can move. Teleport to avoid killing moves, but at the same time, it still does not hinder the killing. After Ye Chen cleaned up the loot dropped by the Soul Assassin, Jian Wuhan came back to life. 1. Jian Wuhan looked in disbelief. We won, but it's a pity that the Abyss Demon died. Ye Chen shook his head and smiled, although his current combat power was incredible, almost on par with the Abyss Demon. But with one more powerful help, it will obviously be more convenient to open up the world's oceans. Therefore, Ye Chen felt quite sorry for the death of the Abyss Demon. The Abyss Demon resurrected again, and that was also 24 hours later. Let's go and continue to open up Wasteland. Ye Chen waved his hand and flew away from the island with Jian Wuhan, heading towards the depths of the world ocean again. 3 days passed and the Abyss Demon had already been resurrected. As a result, Ye Chen, Abyss Demon, and Jian Wuhan killed multiple Super Saints and occupied multiple small islands at the same time. Except for the initial battle with the Soul Assassin, Ye Chen and the others rarely got into hard battles. As a powerful Super Saint, the Soul Assassin is not stronger than other Super Saints. There is only one reason for this, and that is that the Soul Assassin is immune to Jian Wuhan's decay of all things. The decay of all things is so abnormal that it weakens the enemy's attributes by 90%, leaving less than 1/10 of the combat power, so how can he be Ye Chen's opponent? Because of this, Ye Chen and Jian Wuhan join forces and are absolutely invincible. Coupled with the Abyss Demon, they become even more powerful. On the other side, while Ye Chen, Jian Wuhan, and Abyss Demon were pioneering in the world's oceans, the qualifying rounds of the International Championship in the Chinese theater were also in full swing. Through these 3 days, Shang Wang, Lan Yan, Gui Tu, Tai Shan, Yi Ji and Bing Shui, Tank, and others have been promoted to level 80 Sanctuary. Everyone's combat effectiveness has made a qualitative leap, and during the competition, it also brought an extremely exciting experience to audiences across the country. The only good thing is that the Chinese team, the Eagle team, and the Shenlong team did not meet in advance and entered the top 8 in the country. Of course, there are still several games to come, and it is still possible for these 3 teams to meet. Because of this, the members of the 3 major teams are also sweating. Overlord, there seems to be a situation ahead. Jian Wuhan looked ahead and found that the originally calm sea surface suddenly became rough. In addition, there is a faint golden layer in the sea water. This situation was very strange, and Yechen's interest was aroused. He nodded, roared, and led the two of them to fly forward quickly. The scene in front was like a dream, shrouded in thick fog. In the mist, there are misty rainbows everywhere, like a fairyland. While Yechen and the others were sighing, they couldn't help but notice that there was a dragon-like shadow moving rapidly in the hazy mist. This is by no means a ghost, but the fog is too thick, making the interior scenery look ethereal and unreal. A super-huge sea snake, Jian Wuhan's eyes narrowed. According to the hazy image in the fog, it can be seen that the giant beast is like an eastern dragon, with an extremely slender body. Jian Wuhan didn't dare to think about Shenlong, so he guessed it was a super-huge sea snake. Well, it seems to be fighting. The fog inside is too thick to see clearly. Prepare the wind god bag. Yechen gave an order, and the three of them dispersed, each taking one side. They took out the wind god bag at the same time, and then frantically absorbed the thick fog in front of them. A few minutes later, the thick fog ahead became much thinner, and the vision of Yechen and the three of them gradually became brighter. When they discovered the face of the giant beast, they were completely shocked. Damn it, it's not a sea snake, it's really a dragon. The eastern dragon, the golden dragon, Jian Wuhan looked shocked and trembled with fear. It's truly the world's ocean, and it even has divine dragons. Yechen looked at the huge figure in front of him, and suddenly felt strong excitement. The golden dragon was more than 1,000 meters long, with a bull's head, antlers, a snake body, and eagle's claws. When combined together, it gave off a noble aura. The 4 eagle claws, each with 3 fingers, are the 3-clawed golden dragon. Through many insights, Yechen finally found out part of the attributes of this 3-clawed golden dragon. 3-clawed golden dragon, lower god. Level 100. HP 10,000/10,000/10,000/000000000000. Skill. The 3-clawed golden dragon is just a lower god, so there must be 5-clawed golden dragon, 7-clawed golden dragon, 9-clawed golden dragon. Yechen murmured. As of now, Dream World has only opened a level cap of 100. At the same time, Yechen also saw this 100-level beast for the first time. Although it was only a part of the attributes of the lower-level beast, he was also shocked. This 3-clawed golden dragon actually has 100 trillion HP. Of course, this is the total HP of the 3-clawed golden dragon. At present, it is seriously injured and only has 1% of its HP left, which is more than 1 trillion. It was not until then that Yechen knew why the water in the sea area was golden, because it was infected by the blood of the 3-clawed golden dragon. The blood of the 3-clawed golden dragon is golden blood. The 3-clawed golden dragon was besieged by more than 50 strong men in the holy domain. It turned out to be the player, the Korean team led by Eng. When Yechen saw the attributes of the 3-clawed golden dragon, Jian Wuhan also observed the enemies besieging the 3-clawed golden dragon. After seeing it clearly, he couldn't help but roared in surprise. He knew that Eng was very strong, and all of his more than 50 subordinates were strong men in the holy domain. The aroused fighting spirit, like a bud about to bloom, covered the whole body, and it was obviously full-level fighting spirit. In other words, all of these 50 people are martials, and their combat power is off the charts. However, the enemy is a level 100 divine beast. Now they have actually crippled the 3-clawed golden dragon. Isn't it too strong, or is the 3-clawed golden dragon very weak? However, after Yechen knew it was Eng, he understood that Eng was indeed so powerful. Not only was he a messenger of hell, but he also had a weird bat pet. The bat, like Xiaohong, was a being with the blood of a divine beast, but Xiaohong was more auxiliary because the bat could absorb the target's BFF and reduce defense. The strongest assassin in the server. Author, B.A. Wang Shi-san. Chapter 577. The body of the three-clawed golden dragon was too huge, and it was simply a living target for the bat. Just find a section of the body and cover it, and it will be able to absorb the three-clawed golden dragon's power and defensive capabilities. Fortunately, the body of the three-clawed golden dragon is too huge. No matter how the bat expands, it cannot cover the whole body of the three-clawed golden dragon. You know, if the bat completely covers the target, it can even block the target's ability to move. Searched can on Google. The three-clawed golden dragon is the first divine beast we encounter in the world's ocean. We must not give it to and let's go. Yuchen roared, and the three of them put away the wind god bag at the same time and rushed towards the battlefield ahead. Damn it, I've been fighting this golden dragon for a day and a night. It's not easy to cripple the golden dragon. Do these guys want to pick it up off the shelf? An's eyes were gloomy and terrifying, staring at Yuchen, Abyss Demon, and Jian Wuhan, wanting to swallow them alive. You hold the golden dragon, and I and the nether bird will go up and get rid of them. An roared angrily, then rode the nether bird and flew towards Yuchen and the others. It is forbidden for all things to wither and decay. The finishing blow. While flying, An casually tore two forbidden scrolls, banning Jian Wuhan's decay of all things and Yuchen's final blow. In the gaming field, there is the Headhunting Alliance, an international intelligence organization. This organization recruits elite players from all over the world and countries. The elite here does not mean how strong those players are, but it means they are good at collecting intelligence. Because it is an international organization, their penetration is very strong. There may be many of their members in the three major guilds of Throne, Merchant Alliance, and King. They have no attitude, their only attitude is to make money. They sell the information they collect to those who need it. An had found this organization long ago and spent a lot of money to buy the latest information on Yuchen, Jian Wuhan, and others. Because of this, he knew that all things in Jian Wuhan were decayed. Overlord, my creation has been banned, Jian Wuhan shouted in panic. Yuchen's eyes narrowed and he immediately sneered, it seems that they are looking for a headhunting alliance. They are really rich guys. Yuchen knew a little bit about the headhunting alliance and knew that buying information from them was extremely expensive. Yuchen and Jian Wuhan are powerful men with great influence in the Chinese war zone. Their latest information is that they start at least 1 million yuan. It doesn't matter, just leave it to me. Yuchen smiled slightly, and an undercurrent surged around him, covering a 10-yard radius. Obviously, after these 3 days, Yuchen's shadow assassination technique has also improved several levels. At the same time, Yuchen was not worried at all that N would know the skill of shadow assassination. You know, Yuchen had just obtained the shadow assassination technique not long ago, and the only ones who really knew about it were Jian Wuhan and the Abyss Demon. As for the player, there is only one Jian Wuhan. Is Jian Wuhan a member of the Headhunting Alliance? It's out of the question. Jian Wuhan's net worth was quite high, so he naturally didn't bother to work for the Headhunting Alliance. In addition, because Yuchen knew about the existence of the Headhunting Alliance, he behaved quite mysteriously outside, even in the throne room, and did not reveal his true identity. This is his usual low-key approach. Because of this, even if N went to the Headhunting Alliance to buy Yuchen's latest information, the so-called latest was actually very old. The next moment, Yuchen submerged into the undercurrent and rushed towards N and the nether bird. In the shadows, Yuchen's face was filled with a confident smile. However, N's eyes widened and he immediately screamed, "Shadow assassination! Overlord, you killed the soul assassin!" N felt a wave of excitement in his heart. In fact, the soul assassin was not that strong, but the state of his soul was very strange, and he was immune to the decay of all things and the ability of bats. Because of this, soul assassin is very difficult to deal with. An led his regiment and fought for 3 days and 3 nights, but failed to defeat him. However, he was defeated by Yuchen. How could he not be surprised? Shocked, and tore apart a forbidden scroll again, sealing Yuchin's shadow assassination technique. The next moment, Yuchin's body was exposed to the air, and he abruptly stopped moving forward. I see. No wonder I haven't seen any of you recently. It turns out that you abandoned Jinggyuji's mistress and came to open up the world's oceans long ago. Yechen showed a look of surprise. He had long felt that something was wrong, but now he finally understood. In the sky, Yuchen, Abyss Demon, Jian Wuhan, and N and Netherbird Lingran looked at each other. Although the battle has not started yet, Yuchen and N have already fought each other. Each analyzed and saw through the other's tactics, which was no less exciting than the 50 saintly warriors in front of them, besieging the three-clawed golden dragon. The only two spectators, Jian Wuhan and Abyss Demon, couldn't help but break out in cold sweat. The Nether Bird, who understands human nature, also looked at Yechen and N with horrified eyes. The definition of a strong person is not just combat power, but a combination of many aspects. Obviously, Yechen and N are both truly strong people, and they are also titled kings. Stop talking nonsense, Overlord Yechen, this time, I will let you fail miserably, N laughed wildly, and the shadow of a bull appeared behind him, then jumped off the Nether Bird, and rushed towards Yuchen like a bull. Come. Yeah. Yuchen sneered and decisively activated the World Storm. A powerful black tornado emerged around him, shaking the sky and the earth, and a violent momentum emerged in an instant. Anne looked shocked and wanted to retreat, but it was too late. This black tornado also has a strong adsorption ability, which attracts Anne strongly and hits it on top of the black tornado. Blood splattered everywhere, and Anne was directly torn into pieces by the black tornado and died tragically. The next moment, the black tornado dispersed, and the rough sea surface returned to calm. Ozaishian.c. A proud figure is isolated in this world. It is the night god 10 years later, mature, restrained, and unfathomable. Just glancing at Netherworld Bird, the divine power was overwhelming, making the latter's face drip with sweat and trembling. You know, this time storm was simulated 10 years in the future based on Yuchin's current attributes. Compared with the last time when he released the World Storm, Yechen has improved greatly, so now he uses the time storm to become himself 10 years later, which is much more powerful. Here we go again, even scarier than last time, Jian Wuhan said with sweat on his head. On the side, the Abyss Demon opened his mouth wide and almost collapsed in fear. After following Yuchen for such a period of time, he also heard some news that Yuchen had the means to become a god. He didn't believe it at first, but now that he saw it with his own eyes, he was completely frightened. WX6. The strongest assassin in the server. Author, B.A. Wang Shi-san. Chapter 578. More than 10 times stronger than last time. Yechen shook his left hand and said indifferently. The indifferent eyes seemed not to pay attention to the Nether Bird in front of him. This is the height of God. Although he has no believers, he is still the bottom among the gods, but he is many times stronger than the powerful ones in the Holy Realm. Die. Yechen took off the artifact torch he was carrying on his shoulder, opened his mouth and blew out a stream of extremely pure crimson flames. The speed of the flames was so fast that it was difficult to react. The Nether Bird was unable to dodge and was hit by the flames, causing unimaginable horrific damage and dying. At the same time, the battlefield ahead. Because of Ing's death, the bat also disappeared, and the three-clawed golden dragon once again regained its peak strength, stirring up the storm for a while and causing more than 50 martial-level holy warriors to complain incessantly. At this time, they also realized that Ing had been killed. How many seconds has it been? Even if the enemy is powerful, it won't be so terrifying, right? After all, Ing's strength is also unfathomable. When they turned around, they happened to see the god of night killing the Nether Bird instantly with a blow of fire. Hey, what kind of player are you talking about? Even among the super saints, the nether bird is a top-notch existence. It can't withstand the overlord's casual move. What happened to that black tornado just now? It should be a BFF skill that makes overlord stronger, but this is too strong. Escape, there are no vampire bats, we are no match for the golden dragon, let alone that terrifying overlord. For a moment, Ing's men were frightened and scattered, preparing to escape. At the same time, they knocked down a bottle of lazy potion. They are all marshals and can receive a bottle of lazy potion every day. Next, it only takes 1 second to exit the combat state and teleport away. Want to escape? Ye Chen sneered and shot out a sea of fire with his bare hands, forming a huge flame wall that enveloped more than 50 powerful men from the Holy Realm. The next moment, more than 50 injuries appeared at the same time, and everyone died collectively. The powerful men in the Holy Realm could not withstand the sea of fire of the God of Night even for a second. The flame wall disappeared, and the three-clawed golden dragon poked out from the bottom of the sea, standing opposite Ye Chen. In the distance, the Abyss Demon and Jian Wuhan looked at the scene and couldn't help but lick their dry lips. Is the battle of gods finally going to break out? However, just as they were expecting, the three-clawed golden dragon suddenly spoke. Your Excellency, thank you for saving me. The clear voice of a young man floated out of the dragon's mouth. This is enough to prove that he is not very old and still has room to grow. He may become a 5-clawed golden dragon or even a higher being in the future. No, I didn't want to save you, I probably wanted to kill you, Ye Chen said indifferently. The power of the time storm made him become himself 10 years later. These are two personalities. Now Ye Chen is aloof and seems to not care about anything. I only have a little memory of the past. And through this memory, Ye Chen found the reason to kill the three-clawed golden dragon. No, no. Your Excellency is a high-ranking god. Killing Xiaolong is not enough to show your power. The three-clawed golden dragon gave a bitter smile and said, in fact, Xiaolong is also a miserable person. His dragon palace was also taken away by the enemy. He has nowhere to go and is wandering around, so he is targeted by those greedy people. Your Excellency, Xiaolong has never had any problems in his life. I made a big mistake, and now I am even more helpless. Please be kind and spare my life. Dragon Palace? Captured by the enemy, Ye Chen narrowed his eyes. It's a 5-clawed black dragon. The little dragon is definitely no match for him. The huge dragon eyes of the three-clawed golden dragon showed a hint of melancholy. His own dragon palace was taken away by the enemy, and his personal guards and subordinates were manipulated by the enemy. The three-clawed golden dragon is a member of the Divine Dragon clan, so he naturally has a strong self-esteem, but self-esteem is not strength. He is no match for the 5-clawed black dragon. Otherwise, he would not have been expelled. If I help you deal with the black dragon, will you surrender? Ye Chen asked indifferently. There was a hint of threat in his eyes as he looked at the three-clawed golden dragon. He knew his situation, such a powerful divine power could only last for 10 minutes. After 10 minutes, he will lose his power and become vulnerable. If there is a divine dragon under the seat, the combat effectiveness will be improved to some extent. At the same time, he is neither a holy mother nor a bad person, and the position of the three-clawed golden dragon has nothing to do with him. If the three-clawed golden dragon surrenders, that's it. If it refuses, it will be slaughtered. Hiss. On the side, the Abyss Demon and Jian Wuhan were stunned to death. In their opinion, Ye Chen is so overbearing now that he even threatened Shenlong to become his pet. You know, the Shenlong clan is extremely noble, how could they be willing to be other people's pets? Your Excellency is a superior god. If you help Xiaolong kill the black dragon and take back the dragon palace, Xiaolong is willing to surrender. The three-clawed golden dragon lowered its proud head to show surrender and said in a low voice. Ah, I actually agreed, Abyss Demon and Jian Wuhan exclaimed at the same time. The three-clawed golden dragon glanced at them, and a smile appeared in its huge dragon eyes. He is a divine dragon, very understanding of human nature, and is no longer a simple beast. At least Yechen's halo of goodwill is ineffective against him. When Yechen asked him earlier, he revealed a hint of murderous intent, and he instantly understood his current position. If he disagreed, let alone taking back the Dragon Palace, he would have to lose his life here. No matter how strong his self-esteem is, it can't withstand the threat to his life. What's more, he is just a lower-level divine beast. ZhaoZaqian.com. Yechen is now a higher-level god, and it's not a loss for him to be his pet. Time is running out, let's set off now. Of course, Yechen didn't give in. He jumped and landed on the dragon's head, grabbing a dragon horn with both hands. So, Yechen rode on the three-clawed golden dragon, majestic and awe-inspiring. On the side, the Abyss Demon and Jian Wuhan showed envious looks. Riding a dragon, it's really high-end. You guys come up too. Yechen's indifferent eyes swept over the two. Now, his memory of the past is quite vague, but there are more or less some memory fragments, and he also knows that the Abyss Demon and Jian Wuhan are not mediocre. Especially Jian Wuhan, the skill of withering everything. Even now, he is quite afraid of it. Hee, good. The two were overjoyed and flew to the head of the three-clawed golden dragon at the same time. The dragon horn was supported by Yechen. They did not dare to act rashly, so they could only step back and grab the raised dragon scales on the dragon's head. Then the dragon swung its tail, controlling the air in all directions, and hurricanes and clouds emerged. Even the sea surface reflected the golden reflection of the dragon. With a plop, the dragon rushed into the seabed, stirring up thousands of waves, and under the sunlight, countless gorgeous rainbows rose in the sky. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The strongest assassin in the server. Author, B.A. Wang Shi-san. Chapter 579. In the ocean, the three-clawed golden dragon carried Yechen, the Abyss Demon, and Jian Wuhan, moving forward at an incredible speed. After he was driven out of the Dragon Palace, he was reluctant to leave, so he moved around in the sea near the Dragon Palace. About a minute later, he brought the three people to a magnificent palace on the seabed. In front of the closed door, there were countless shrimp soldiers and crab generals holding the door. Get out of the way, the three-clawed golden dragon roared, with a majestic dragon. Countless shrimp soldiers and crab generals were trembling with fear. Little Dragon King, don't go in again, otherwise the Black Dragon King will not let you go. A group of huge lobsters and crabs can actually speak. This scene made Jian Wuhan and the Abyss Demon amazed. Get out of the way, the three-clawed golden dragon roared again, and the sound waves rolled up a whirlwind on the seabed, blowing a group of shrimp soldiers and crab generals to the ground, wailing non-stop. Facing his former subordinates, the three-clawed golden dragon did not kill them. The reason why he was eager to knock the shrimp soldiers and crab generals away was actually because he was afraid that the moody Yechen would kill them instantly. While the shrimp soldiers and crab generals were wailing, the three-clawed golden dragon had used a golden energy bomb to shake open the gate of the Dragon Palace. Then, his huge body shrank at a speed visible to the naked eye. Finally, it was only 10 meters in size. All divine beasts have the ability to grow bigger or smaller. The next moment, the three-clawed golden dragon carried Yechen and the other two into the Dragon Palace. They encountered various ferocious sea beasts along the way, and the three-clawed golden dragon used the dragon's power to repel them, forcing only the main hall. Not long after, the three-clawed golden dragon blasted away a group of shrimp soldiers and crab generals, broke through the main hall door, and entered the main hall amid the screams of the shrimp soldiers and crab generals. On the high platform dragon throne, a black-robed young man with an evil face was lying comfortably on his back, with his feet on the table in front of him. He looked as cool as he could be. On the left and right sides, there is a mermaid wearing a light veil, with a graceful figure and beautiful appearance. One pinches the shoulders and beats the back, and the other carefully peels the fruit, puts it in her mouth, and feeds the black-robed youth mouth to mouth. Wow! The black-robed youth screamed exaggeratedly, biting the tender flesh in his mouth, with an extremely refreshing expression on his face, as if he was about to fly. The three-clawed golden dragon was furious. He was the master of the dragon palace, but this black dragon actually drove him away and enjoyed the glory and wealth himself. Transformed, Ye Chen stared at the black-robed youth and muttered to himself thoughtfully. You know, even divine beasts cannot transform. Only when the pet, including the divine pet, reaches 100% of the favorability with the owner personally feeds the transformation fruit, and the pet can transform. At the beginning, the level 10 Tyrannosaurus Rex that was punished to the lower world was the pet of a god. This black dragon is obviously also the pet of a certain god. Little golden dragon, I have already said it, when you enter the dragon palace again, it will be the time for me to take your life. The black-robed youth suddenly turned his head and stared at the three-clawed golden dragon, his face full of murderous intent. This time it is you who will die, this time I will find a higher god to help me. The three-clawed golden dragon stared at the black-robed youth, not giving in. The black-robed youth had naturally discovered Ye Chen a long time ago, and at this moment, his sharp eyes swept towards Ye Chen again, sneering and saying, with less than 1,000,000 lives, you are worthy of being called a higher god. He is a five-clawed black dragon, a middle-level god, and a very powerful middle-level god. Because of the transformation, he not only retained the powerful body of the dragon, which is the so-called foundation, but also can spread faith. Now, even if he faces a higher god, he is not panicked at all. What's more, Ye Chen, who has no faith power and less than 1,000,000 HP. God's clone. The black-robed youth roared like a dragon, and a flash of white light turned into a ferocious five-clawed black dragon. His body was only 10 meters long, the same size as the three-clawed golden dragon. His body was more than 3,000 meters long. If he turned into his body, he would be able to easily destroy the dragon palace. But now the dragon palace was his territory, so he naturally didn't want to destroy it. And although he was not in his body now, his strength was the same. Then, the five-clawed black dragon split into three. So, the three black dragons released violent dragon power in the main hall of the dragon palace. On the side, two mermaids were shocked by the dragon's power and vomited blood, and fell to the ground and died. Countless shrimp soldiers and crab generals also fell to the ground, unable to get up, wailing continuously. God's clone, you can actually cultivate the God's clone, the three-clawed golden dragon was shocked. You must know that their dragon clan, at any stage, the physical strength is the limit of the current stage. 3 claws, among the lower-level beasts, are the king. 5 claws, among the middle-level beasts, are the king. 7 claws, the king among the upper divine beasts. Such a powerful existence is already blessed by nature, and now it can even cultivate the clone of God, which is too abnormal. Stupid, not only the clone of God, but I can also spread the power of faith, not to mention the half-baked upper god you invited, even if it is a real upper god, I don't care. The 3 black dragons laughed wildly at the same time. Can you stop bragging? Ye Chen sneered, and his body spread out like cherry blossoms, and then 11 identical figures appeared. The clone of God at the full level LV10, 1 original body, 10 clones, and all have half the attributes of the original body. Asshole. The 3 black dragons' eyes condensed at the same time and rushed over. At this time, 11 Ye Chens opened their murderous auras at the same time, all of which were full-level murderous auras, forming a full 11 superimposed killing fields. The killing field spread 100 yards, covering the 3 black dragons at the same time, and weakening all attributes by 99%. The speed of the three black dragons' violent charge suddenly dropped 100 times. Black dragon bombs. The black dragons easily identified Ye Chen's original body, and the three black dragons used black dragon bombs to bomb at the same time. -105, 382, 0481. -204, 034, 8928. -204, 034, 8928. -204, 034, 8928. 11 consecutive horrible injuries emerged, 11 Ye Chens were completely wiped out, and their bodies were blown apart by the black dragon bombs. Seeing this, the black dragon showed a smug sneer. Even if it was weakened 100 times, his strength was still terrifyingly powerful. One round of bombing killed Ye Chen, and just the aftermath destroyed all 10 clones. On the side, the three-clawed golden dragon, the abyss demon, and Jian Wuhan were all startled. Especially the three-clawed golden dragon, whose huge dragon eyes were about to burst, roared at the three black dragons, and just as he was about to rush out desperately, he was held steady by Jian Wuhan's dragon horns. Although the 11 Ye Chen were annihilated, the killing field did not disappear, which meant that they were not really dead yet. Sure enough, the next moment, yellow sand splashed and spread throughout the killing field. Obviously, this was the sand clone. Is this the strength of the ultimate middle-level god? It's really powerful and terrifying. It was weakened 100 times, but it can still kill me in seconds. The 11 Ye Chen appeared again and said indifferently. The strongest assassin in the server. Author, B.A. Wang Shi-san. Chapter 580. There was a hint of teasing in Ye Chen's smile. Until now, apart from his murderous aura, he had not activated any BFF. Others said that his defense was amazing, but what kind of defense could he have as an assassin? He mainly relied on BFF. Flame armor. Armor hardening. Tyrant dragon pattern. Google search Furtkin. Dochi. Bloodblade. For a moment, Ye Chen's BFF was fully activated, his whole body flashed with colorful light, and the demeanor of a god was finally revealed. The 10 clones followed suit at the same time, with great power. Come on, I'll let you do it again. Ye Chen stared at the black dragon and smiled faintly. Asshole, you're looking for death. The 3 black dragons roared at the same time, their bodies stirred rapidly, and then the iron-like dragon tails rushed towards Ye Chen and the 10 clones. The dragon swings its tail. -10,800. -5,040. -5,040. -5,040. -5,040. 11 consecutive damages appeared, and this time the damage dropped sharply, and it was just barely able to break the defense, dealing 10,000 or 5,000 damage. In addition, the powerful dragon tail whipped Ye Chen and the clone of God, and could not break the stiffness at all. Ye Chen and the clone of God endured a fierce blow, but stood firmly, motionless. This is impossible, the black dragon roared in frustration. He was blessed with not only the strong body of the dragon clan, but also transformed into a human form, mastered the laws, and spread faith. His strength is definitely the top level among the middle gods. Even ordinary upper gods are not his opponents. But now, Ye Chen, an upper god without any faith power, is probably not as good as a lower god with faith, but he can't break the defense. This is really unbelievable. That's right, Black Dragon suddenly realized that it was because of this deep red murderous aura that weakened him 100 times. Otherwise, why would it be like this? Sea of Fire. Ye Chen and the clone of God attacked at the same time, setting up a raging sea of fire to surround the 3 black dragons. The 5-clawed black dragon moved and rushed out of the sea of fire desperately, screaming in pain from the burns. As for the other 2 black dragon clones, because their speed was not half of the original, they could not escape even if they wanted to, because Ye Chen and others had already rushed over, throwing the finishing moves wildly, killing the two black dragon clones. The strange black dragon blood instantly filled the entire dragon palace hall. The clone of God is a refined entity with the will of the master, and is an individual life. So it will bleed. Damn it, my two clones. After the five-clawed black dragon escaped, he looked at the bodies of the two clones and the thick black blood, and his face was immediately filled with anger. You know, the death of the clone of God cannot be restored. The skill level of the clone of God has dropped by one level, and it has to be upgraded and refined again. In a rage, the five-clawed black dragon actually instantly fired a black dragon bullet and bombarded Yechen and the clone of God fiercely. This time, Yechen dared not to resist. The killing field is only 100 yards in range, which is not small or big. Now that the five-clawed black dragon has escaped the range of the killing field, it has immediately recovered its peak state. A black dragon bullet is enough to kill them instantly. Because of this, Yechen and the clone of God scattered, dodging, and chasing. Why chase? Because the murderous aura moves with the movement of the user. As long as the killing field once again covers the five-clawed black dragon, what does the five-clawed black dragon count for? Damn it! The five-clawed black dragon looked at Yechen and the clone of the god who were chasing him separately, and did not dare to fight hard. While running away, it released black dragon bombs from a distance. Suddenly, this battle became a protracted war. And a protracted war is extremely disadvantageous to Yechen. As time goes by, the duration of his time storm is getting shorter and shorter. 8 minutes. 6 minutes. 3 minutes. Jian Wuhan, go up and help, use your all things withered to weaken the five-clawed black dragon, the abyss demon urged. Jian Wuhan was sweating coldly, and he shouted angrily, what a joke, in a battle of that level, I will be killed in seconds as soon as I go up. Although all things withered is strong, its range is very small, only 30 yards. Facing the powerful five-clawed black dragon, Jian Wuhan could not get close at all, because if he got a little close, he would be killed by the black dragon bomb. Even if it was just the aftermath of the black dragon bomb, it was enough to kill him in seconds. Damn it, there's not enough time. Jian Wuhan knew that Yechen's time storm would only last for 10 minutes. Now that time was running out, he was sweating profusely. Now there were only 3 minutes left. If they didn't kill the five-clawed black dragon, they would all die. Even the three-clawed golden dragon would die in battle. However, Jian Wuhan, the abyss demon, and the three-clawed golden dragon were anxious, but they had no way to deal with it. Shadow assassination technique. For a moment, Yechen and the god's clone used the shadow assassination technique, and huge undercurrents emerged around them, forming a dark river. Then, Yechen and others' bodies sank into the dark river and disappeared. Invisibility does not mean invincibility. If you are hit by a black dragon bullet, you will still be killed instantly. But Yechen and others can teleport freely in the huge dark river. How could they easily let the black dragon bullet hit them? The five-clawed black dragon could not see the figures of Yechen and the clone of God in the dark river, and fired black dragon bullets randomly, but none of them hit. Yechen and the clone of God teleported in various ways, and teleported forward. This was equivalent to increasing the speed, and soon they were close to the five-clawed black dragon. Seeing this, the five-clawed black dragon's huge dragon eyes flashed with fear for the first time. With a roar, it flew directly upwards. At the same time, its body became larger and restored to its original size of 3,000 meters. One head poked a big hole in the magnificent dragon palace, and the five-clawed black dragon swam out of the dragon palace and entered the deep sea. This time, I'll see how you hide. The five-clawed black dragon turned its head, and its huge body swam together, like a huge mountain in the deep sea. The surrounding sea beasts felt the dragon's power and fled frantically in fear. Then, the huge five-clawed black dragon opened its huge mouth and fired black dragon bullets at the dragon palace. This black dragon bullet was completely different from the previous one. Although the power was the same, the size was magnified by who knows how many times. His target was not only Yechen and the god's clone, but the entire dragon palace. He was going to blow up the dragon palace with one shot, so that everyone in the dragon palace would die. Hey, what is that? The black energy light wave sprayed rapidly, and in an instant, the black light enveloped the entire dragon palace. The big hole previously pierced by the five-clawed black dragon, a terrifying black light emerged. Until then, Yechen, the god's clone, Jian Wuhan, the abyss demon, and the three-clawed golden dragon felt something was wrong. Jian Wuhan opened his mouth wide, and his face covered with cold sweat was full of despair.